Well, folks, welcome back to part 24, which is assembling and installing the internal frames and supports for the wings. That's the spars, the landing gear stuff, and the control surfaces for the hinge points and so forth. But sad news, in the last video, which was, bagging the wings, we had a complete cluster. You know what I mean. Anyhow, everything went wrong. The first bag looked as though it was okay. The second bagging of the other skin uh, failed because we couldn't get vacuum. Then I had to use a garbage bag, which did vacuum, but unfortunately the resin was too stiff, so it didn't suck through, and it all got real heavy. It's like 2 or 3 ounces heavier than the other side of the wing. So what we decided to do, plus because we lost all the vacuum and it didn't work correctly, the top detail was just destroyed. The latex covering the paint that we used, I guess I didn't leave it long enough to cure, so that came out messy. I mean, everything went wrong, but that's okay, because these wings were meant to be just test wings to do other stuff with. But it would have been nice if we could have actually flown with them. And I guess I could if I pushed it, but it's not worth the risk. So, it was a complete bugger up. Everything went wrong. So now the frames have been done, they've been laser cut, and they've come out great. So this is what we're doing today. So thanks a lot, and thanks for subscribing. I've picked up another 12 subscribers since the last video. That's really going to help us. Just need about 400 and whatever, 80 something more, and the channel will be then considered a success. So leave any comments, and some of you have been doing that, and I love them. Let me know what you want to see. There's a million things that we can show during a build, and a lot of stuff we don't show because it's just too complicated. It takes a lot of time to do these films and process them and so forth. Anyhow, love the comments, give us a thumbs up, and definitely subscribe if you like anything that we're doing. Thank you. All right, I have made the wing skins up, which are just prototypes for now. These were just done for testing. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run some PVA around these edges, just so when I glue the wing halves together, it doesn't stick to the actual mold. I've never done the wings this way. Normally, you lay them up both sides, put the frame in, glue it, close them up, clamp them, and they're done. Due to the fact that I had to make the frames up, which are these guys here, I opted to actually just make the wing skins up, then pull them out so that I can manipulate everything and test stuff and so forth. So anyhow, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to install these frames, close everything up, and we'll see how it all goes. So I'm just going to be liberal with the PVA because these are just prototype wings. Probably not fly with them. Then again, maybe I will. I don't know yet. So I'm just going to assume that a lot of our goop, which we use to glue it up, is going to slip by the mold because there's no longer a seal because I took them out. So I want the PVA in there so I don't damage the mold. And that's what we're going to do. So no big deal. We'll see how it goes. Just want to make sure we don't have a problem. So I'm just putting it on with the brush. I'm not spraying it, not being fancy. Just don't want it to stick. So I'll come down about 1.5 inches into the mold itself.
and we'll see how it goes. So anyhow, I'll continue with this and then we'll get back. All right, the PVA's on the perimeter. I've blown any dust and debris from the molds. I'm going to just gently try and get these guys back in without disrupting the PVA. So let's go for it. All right, that one's in. This guy's going in now, putting the ends in first. That's where it locks up because of the detail for the navigation lights. And we're in. So making sure everything's bedded down. There we go. It's all locked up. You can usually hear them click in. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to put the frames back in. Trying to remember which one's which. This one is here. And I'm going to line them up, do one last check. Make sure everybody's happy. And that the roots all line up. Like I say, I'm not too bothered about the cosmetics of these wings. We had problems with vacuum leaks. I believe I said that before. And causes a whole pile of grief. But anyhow, so just pop these skins back on. Make sure she's all lined up. This is the important thing, is the landing gear. I should say the mounts for them. And then before I glue everything in place, I'll reinforce all those. Okay, that's good. Yeah, see, this one is gone out of kilter. So we'll be cautious of that. I'm going to have to tape those in. Yeah, see how everything lines up? So I'm going to put the landing gear in after the fact, but I think I'll leave them in place just so I can get the alignment correct. And the next thing we're going to do is glue the aileron strips in, which are these guys, and reinforce those, and I'll be back. Okay, now I've glued the aileron hinge strips in. I've got little wedges in there which are glued down. I'm going to put a seam of goop down there, but I've also put balsa blocks behind them just to make sure they're reinforced. Same with this guy. We've got some here and here. So now I've refitted them. I've marked everything out, and now I've marked it in red where I need to put the glue. So this piece here, which is like a hash mark, I'm just going to tape that down once I've got everything perfectly positioned before closing it up, because that has a tendency to sometimes move, and we can't have that, can we? So it's a matter of mixing some goop up now. Put it on there, put some on the underframe, and on top, then close the wings. Okay, we've mixed up the goop. We've PVA'd the other side, and we're getting ready to put the frames in. So first I'm just going to whip down this aileron frame here.
Just laying up a bead of the glue to keep it all in place.
Do the same with this one. No, I'll just keep to one side right now. Okay, and then, oops, now we're going to run the bead down here, which is 15 millimeters from the trailing edge. We can gingerly place the frame, making sure we get a good bead on it. Removing any excess from that side. And then we'll come down and put a bead, oops, on the back of all these. We'll just clean everything up, remove any excess, because excess is just weight. And I'm just creating a nice fillet. Right, we'll reposition. Before we put the top on, we're going to just check our skin again. Making sure my gloves are clean. I just want to get this because I want to put a piece of tape just to make sure that's perfect right there. I just want a piece of tape back here to make sure nothing moves. In position, yeah. Okay, going around just checking everything here.
I'm just filling the syringe so it's full, so I don't have to do it while I'm gluing the top of all the frames. The consistency is that of about the smoother peanut butter. You don't want it too dry and too stiff, otherwise it's not going to adhere to the parts. So just keep it slightly wet but still stiff. I used to use an icing bag for this, but could never really, get it as good. I always ended up with too much stuff on. So what I've done is just got the, I think the 30cc syringes. You can use bigger if you want. And I can control the flow much better. I get a nice thick bead. I can get in there and put a bead around the perimeter of the parts like I'm doing right now. And it just works better for me, so I just buy them 1,000 at a time. I think it's off eBay, Amazon or somewhere like that, and they're fairly cheap. They're about 10 cents a syringe, and to be honest with you, it works the best for me. And if you want to reuse them, just squeeze all the goop out or the resin from inside, fill it with isopropanol, clean it out, pump it up a couple of times, and just clean it. Then I use a little bit of Vaseline.
What I like to do for the top frames is use this Gorilla Glue. I don't know if that's in there. But anyhow, sometimes you get a little bit of gapping going on. So I'll put the splooge around the perimeter, but for these top frames, I'm going to put a liberal amount of this expendable foam glue. And the reason being is this will expand and fill any gaps at the top, because the bottom is getting gravity, and that should be enough for that. Don't know about this bit here, so we'll put some heavy stuff here. All right. Gonna give that a little blast of water. Come on, baby. Okay. And we'll go back to this stuff. This is what's going to hold the actual wings together. So we've got that one done. So now we're just going to quickly do this one. Do some on the perimeters, just like I did with that one. And this is why I put the PVA on, because I put a fair amount of this stuff on, about 1/8 bead on both sides. Like I say, it will cross feed to each other with gravity. And that's what will give us a really good seal. Now you don't need to go speedy fast with this. You don't even need to move it along. And what I'm going to be doing here is basically creating a welded joint with a lot of flashing when it comes out tomorrow morning. Now, we hope that we nailed our centering. We're going to put this on, trying not to disturb anything. Just let everything naturally settle. No turning back now. And then we'll clean her up. Okay, let's see. Guess we could use a small one there.
When I said rotate them, what I meant by that was I put them on edge. You can just see it in the top of the frame that I sit it on edge. So first I do the leading edge, then give it about 3 or 4 or 5 minutes depending on how runny your glue is. And then I rotate it and flip it over so then it's on the trailing edge. And then that's about 5 minutes or so, and then I tip it up so it's on the so the tip of the wing is down, and then the root of the wing is down, and depending on the shape of your wing, of course. And what it does, it causes just gravity, makes the glue flow directly into the joint, so it welds both the top and the bottom with a real nice thick fillet. I've cut wings open in the past to check these out, and it works fabulous.